now have a door that opens. Quite, have you seen it with the bumper on the floor? You will literally be able to strip your car down and put this kit on in a weekend. We're really confident of that. We're back again. Jonathan's just cleaning up the moulds, tidying up the edges. This is the driver's side door mould, and this is the one that I did yesterday, the passenger side. There was a little bit of damage on the door, taking it out. There's quite a lot of pressure when you pull these out, and obviously these are made of several separate sections, so there's a little crack in there. I'll have to repair. Nothing too major though. Sun's shining down the side of the car. We can still see some ups and downs, so we're not quite there. It's flat there, and there. Still a bit of a low spot there. And there's a couple of filler edges to sort out. But a lot better than it was. Really need to get the primer on it. Again, this is a bit better. There's still a bit there, a bit there, there's a bit there. You see how that, there's an edge on the filler there. Low spot there. Shame we don't have the sun all the time. I'm not finished rubbing them. Like at a certain point I'll want to get the primer on and block it, and you can just see it a lot easier. Then it's easier to work with when you do it like that. I'm at that what the heck am I doing today sort of stage, so I'll just get myself sorted out and get you on a tripod. So I've just got this to rub in here, these corners. I've done it a little bit, but a bit more to do. Get this bit out of the way. It's an awkward one. And the plan is we're gonna 3D print all the vents. This one's gonna sit in onto that lip. So this is the back corner of the bonnet that I repaired. Replaced some metal on it, fiberglass. And I'll just taking the bulk of the excess off. Don't want to go too far because both of these edges need to be perfectly fitting against the wing and the whatnot, so I'm just taking off the lumpy bits. So I can leave that on until Jonathan's got the door card back on, and then I'll once the door card's back on, I'll just finish off these edges. I've got some bits and pieces of cleaning up, like lumps of filler that escaped, but I need to clean these out as well. So while this is upside down, I'll drill those out and get the pegs out of them. Oh! Jonathan just stabbed himself on fiberglass, just like I did yesterday. Alright, there's a couple of the bits I want to do on here as well actually. It's just these little knobbles where we had the screws going through. I'm just going to take the tops off them. I've heard your place is nice and warm.
All the while.
Aye.
Has he told you?
Aye, he said it's totally warm in here. He got that thing rigged up. I brought some diesel through for it, 20 litres, 25 bar. It used it in an hour and a half. Really awkward bits to sand these. Getting into the corners. Jonathan's been working on the handle, and we now have a door that opens. Demonstrate please. There we go. That's nice, isn't it? No rattly Ford door handle or anything. Yeah. I've been going round 180 and everywhere, so I'm just got that section on the rear clam to do, and this side of the down here, and I've got the sill to do, and I've got the bumper to do. We're not quite there. I've got the rest of that sill to finish off, but it is really close to being ready for primer. Got all of that's done, all this inner bit's done here, the sill up to there's done, round the wheel arch, right round the back, all round the vent, this whole side of the roof, so the bumper's to 180, the sills and half of that, and that will be us ready for primer. There's definitely bits that are going to need some filler in them, little low bits, but it's going to be a massive help just to be able to see where those scratches and the low bits are. I've been sanding out as many of the 40 grit scratches as I can, so I've got most of them. Right, so that's us done for the day. We're going to tidy up the mess, but we have the door with the mirror on, and we haven't got a rattly handle. This is one of the things that I really didn't want, and part of the reason why we've done this. We've got a lock which the kit wouldn't have had because it was taking away the MR2 door handle and putting a rattly Ford handle in. But we've got a lovely solid Toyota handle and the door that I don't want to shut it. There we go. Just that mirror's not bolted on, so I need to do that repair. We've just been getting this fitting a little bit better, so working on the lines. It was a little bit chunky in there, so yeah, not quite ready for primer yet, but it's certainly not far off it. The clam is all rubbed up, the side skirts are 50% rubbed up, the bonnet's rubbed, the bumper's all done. This is all ready. Have you seen it with the bumper on the floor? Super close, but not quite there yet. Oh yeah, look at this mould as well. Look at how neat that is. So just to show you what we're doing to get the door handles swapped over, we need to cut a hole round about that size. It doesn't need to be pretty because it's getting covered over by the door card, but we need that size of a hole for it to be able to, yeah, that's what was cut out, and that's just so that that door handle sits in neatly, but this bolts in nice and tight and solid. The Ford handles on the original kit, like I've seen a bunch of builds and they all look wobbly and wonky, and you know those Ford handles rattled like mad anyway.
There's that word again, which is wonky. Yeah,
wonky, yeah. So we didn't want that, and like I've said, doing it like this gets us to retain the lock as well, instead of having no door locks and relying on the central locking. That's the size of hole we need to cut to get the handles on anyway, for anybody who's going to be building one of these, just for future ref. Around this side, just got a bit of filler on there, just that wasn't lining up with the clam properly. Fixed that chip on the side there, or started to, so got that glassed in from the back and on the front. I'm about to mount up the bumper so that we can then put the bonnet on, so that I can gap this area here where I've done the repair on the bonnet, and then I'm pretty sure that is all the heavy fixing and shaping and everything done, and we're just on to getting ready for primer. So I've got some filler in that front edge there, sorted on there now. I just need to sand a little bit of filler. I'm just sanding that up to that line. Also trimmed this a little bit. We'll have a look, see what that's looking like. Maybe a little bit more on there to come out, and then this one's getting there. That gap was a little bit too big, you see, so I just needed to line that up, so that one's nearly there, just a little bit more sanding. So I've got these gaps nice and even down here. The clam is in and it has been all the time. We managed to get some of the pressure off it, but that's why I put like cuts in here. But it sticks out a little bit, so once this sill's properly bolted in place, we're going to put a little lug on the back of there so that as it goes down, it tucks itself in behind and just pulls that back a little bit. But you can see there, we've got the gaps all nice now. That's a shadow, it's not a gap. It looks like a gap, but it's not, it's a shadow. So the sill needs to come out a touch there, but the clam needs to go in a touch there. So that's them all nicely lined up anyway. That's another bit done. Filled a couple of pinholes just as I'm going round. Worked this corner, so that's sorted now. And round this way, I've got that to do. I just need to adjust it. Can you see that there? It's just a little bit lower than this bit here, so I need to rub that so it meets there. This is the scale of the massive jobs that are left. Jonathan, on the other hand, he's got a bigger job on. So what he's doing there is he's making a mould of that section of the door so that when we put it together, there's going to be an inner part of the door moulds as well. So when you put it together and you put the door card on, there'll be a secondary part goes on that corner which strengthens the back corner, because obviously you can see it's just like a flat panel sticking out from the actual door position itself. So it'll strengthen that back corner up, but it also fills all in the gaps that would be sitting up the back edge. Actually, you can see it on this door if I take you around here, because this one hasn't been. See that gap there? That's where you've got to cut the door off there. So that section that Jonathan's making now will cover that and meet that, and obviously see how you can flex the door a little bit there. You won't be able to do that once those parts are on, because it'll strengthen the whole back edge of the door up. It'll double the thickness of this section itself here, and sort all of that gappage out, so you don't have to fill it or anything. And like I say, it'll make it a lot stronger as well. Much need to finish. All the door rubber still fits on properly and everything as well, so I'm going to have to work out what my next job is. I don't know whether I've shown you these, but I'm really pleased with the way that these have come out. Look at that, it looks original now, doesn't it? Looks like it was supposed to be like that. Actually, it didn't have that edge on it, just went that way, but I'm just going to put the swage line back in it as well. I think they look great. I'm really happy with them. Needs a little bit of sanding in that one. Both the door handles are on and working now as well. So, and one thing that an interesting little adjustment that we've had to do, what we found was the door, when you open it fully to the second click, it was going too far. Because the kit door is slightly bigger on the corner, on the bottom corner, it was catching down in that bottom corner, actually hitting on the inside, so we had to stop the door opening fully. So Jonathan's made a little device that attaches to your door stops, and it's just restricting the amount that the door opens, so you'll never open the door and crush the front corner of the door or anything. That stops that happening. Obviously we bolted the bonnet up before to sort this corner out, and when we did, it was so much easier than last time, because now we've got captive nuts in the bonnet. Again, that's going to be another part of the kit. How it comes, you won't have to fiberglass them in, they'll already be there. Bonnet will go straight onto the brackets, which will go straight onto the car. So we're really confident that this kit will fit so well to the car with the brackets that we're going to supply it with, and obviously the quality of the kit. You will literally be able to strip your car down and put this kit on in a weekend. We're really confident of that. We can take this kit off and put it back on 5 times in a day and do work on the car as well. Like, that's how many times it's been on and off sometimes, So, but I reckon within an hour, if we give us at the stage this is at now, we could take all of this off and put it back on in an hour, definitely. And the actual kit that we make, it'll be very similar. It'll be really, really easy to fit, and then you don't have all these problems. Yeah, you might, you're gonna be wanting to maybe paint it, and you might want to. Well, obviously you've got your like little bonnet catches, and you've got wiring, and you've got like lots of other things to do. Like fitting the windows going to be a right job in itself, but physically getting the kit onto the car, I'm really, really confident that you would be able to strip the panels off a car and get the kit physically fit in a weekend. You would have to, do the modifications to the door. That would be one of your biggest jobs, actually. Yeah, but even that's just a cut with the grinder, and in the videos we've shown where to cut. But using those handles, even though you've got to cut the handle out the door, it's still way easier than converting the MR2 handle to work with the Ford handle, and you get a much better handle out of it. So thanks for your time, thanks for watching, all that stuff, pressing buttons and that. Say bye, Jonathan.
Bye.
See you later.